So this is going to be our level 1 warm-up for strength and conditioning. Seamus is going to start off here with a squat. So weight-wise, you can use a med ball, a foam roller, a football, anything you have at home that's just over a kg or so. As you can see here, Seamus is sitting back onto his heels, not letting his knees go over his toes, and he's just getting below 90 degrees. Reaching the ball right out in front, squeezing the shoulder blades together at the top. The next movement we're going to do is a chop. So we're going to hinge over, we'll feel a stretch in the back of our legs, try pin your shoulders back together and engage your core throughout. The aim of this exercise is to try and flatten your back with the floor. You can see Seamus is doing it nicely there. And then you should feel that stretch in the back of his legs. Big glute squeeze at the top as well. So squeeze and then stretch, squeeze and stretch. Moving on from that, we're going to go into a bent over row. So the bent over row will be in your hinge position. So getting your back flat with the ground, engaging your core. And Seamus is going to pin his shoulder blades back together. So he's sucking them back and squeezing. Perfect. So in this position, core engaged, feeling the stretch in the back of his legs, and we're going to go for 10 reps here as well. We're going to go back into that hinge position for our next exercise. It's just going to be shoulder rolls. So getting your back flat with the ground again, feeling that stretch in the back of your legs, engage your core, and then as you can see here, Seamus is just exaggerating that movement, rolling his shoulder blades back. We're going to go for 10 of these. The next movement we're going to do, you might need to grab a cushion for your knee at home. We're going to pop down into a half kneeling position. Seamus's right knee is down, so he's going to pop the weight in his right hand. He's engaging his core and squeezing his right glute. We're going to go for 10 overhead presses here. What you should be feeling here is a nice stretch in the front of your thigh. So if your right knee is down, you'll be feeling that stretch on the right side. And it's going to be the exact same on the left side. We'll just get a front view here. That's it. So this time Seamus is squeezing his left glute, driving overhead while his core is engaged. And the last exercise for the warm-up is going to be in a push-up position. We can pop the med ball to the side. It's going to be a Spider-Man. So Seamus will first off tuck and squeeze his hips there. He's going to take a big step. You can see his back leg is locked out. And with his right hand, he's going to rotate out as far as he can. You can either do this with a straight arm or with your hand cupping your temple. And we're going to go for 4 to each side here. So exaggerating the big step, locking out the back leg, and a full rotation to each side. We're going to go back into our squats then. So we're going to go for 10 reps, reaching the ball out, squeezing our glutes at the top. Again, we're going for 10 reps. Making sure your knees aren't going over your toes. And you want to engage your core throughout as well. So engage your core and then squeeze your glutes at the top. Going back into our chop then. Again, the focus is to get your back flat with the ground and a big glute squeeze at the top. 10 reps here. Again, staying in that hinge position. into your bent over row. Ten reps here. We're going to go into our shoulder rolls next. And again, Seamus's core is engaged here, feeling the stretch in the back of his legs. Going for 10 shoulder rolls. You can just see here Seamus has tucked and squeezed his hips, squeezing his right glute. He's driving overhead 10 times. And it's the exact same on the left side, squeezing his left glute this time and driving overhead 10 times. Finishing off round 2 then with the Spider-Mans. Big step, locking out the back leg. You can see here he's squeezing his right glute and now squeezing his left glute. And we're going to go for one more round here. So back into our squats, reaching the ball out as far as possible, sitting back onto our heels, squeezing our bum at the top. Going into 10 chops then. Again, getting your back flat with the ground. You'll feel a stretch through the back of your legs. Just make sure your core is engaged. We're going to go bent over row next for 10. Keeping the core engaged and back flat with the ground. Next into our shoulder rolls. I'm going to go for 10 here. Back into overhead press then, going 10 on each side here. Again, weight wise, using a med ball. This med ball here is 3 kg, so anything from 3 to 5 kg for the warm up is perfect. You can see in this angle here, Seamus has a straight line from his knee through his hip up to his shoulder, which is exactly what we're looking for. Finishing off then with our Spider-Mans, we're going to do 4 rotations on each side. Really exaggerate the step and lock out the back leg each time. Okay, so we're going to move on to our strength. This time you want to grab slightly heavier weight. Seamus has gone for the lightest weight you can find in the gym today, but we're going to start off with tempo squats, and it's similar to your warm-up where you sit back onto your heels, and we're going to go for a goblet squat hold. There we go. The tempo is going to be 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, and up. We're going to go for 10 reps here. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, and up. Again, with the heavier weight, you may feel more comfortable if you pull the weight into your chest and always squeezing at the top. Exactly like in the warm-up, you want to engage your core on the way down and then drive the hips through at the top. So the next one we're going to do is in a push-up position. There's a couple of variations here, so if you can do a full push-up, we're going to try that. So first we'll tuck the hips, down we go, and then we'll go shoulder touch and shoulder touch. The variation this is a shoulder blade push-up and then shoulder touch and shoulder touch. We're going to go for 8 reps here. You can see Seamus, his hips are tucked and squeezed, and he finishes off his push-up or scap push-up with his upper back rounded off. The main aim of this shoulder touch is you don't want your hips to move, so the less your hips are moving, the more you're working your core. We're going to go back onto our heavier weight then. We're going to work the legs a little bit more, and we'll get Seamus to go side on here for a reverse lunge. So we're going to hold the weight in a goblet position again. We're going to take a big step back. The main thing here is your front knee doesn't go over your toes. Over your laces is fine. And we'll add in a knee drive at the end as well. Just looking at Seamus here, he's leaning forward slightly with his chest and then finishes out by locking out his left leg and driving his right knee. We're going to go for 8 reps on each side here. And then just from the front view, you'll see Seamus's knee. We don't want his knee to go inward, so pushing your knee out to the side is exactly what we want here. We're going to go for 3 rounds of strength here, so Seamus is struggling already, but we'll get through it. Good stuff. And the last set of exercises for the strength is going to be a set of planks. So we'll start off with a front plank. So we're going to go 2 elbows down. We'll just tuck and squeeze the hips there, Seamus, and round off the upper back. Breathing technique for this is going to be in through your nose and out through pursed lips. And we're going to hold this for 20 seconds. I'll be strict on Seamus here, get him to lock out his legs. Keep that glute squeeze. We have 5 seconds left. Lovely stuff. We're going to go into a side plank next. So you can see there, Seamus has tucked his elbow underneath, 2 feet on top of each other. He's reaching his left hand up to the ceiling, pushing his hips forward, squeezing his bum, and relaxing his head back in a neutral position. And again, we're going to hold this for 20 seconds. And we can swap sides there. So this is probably a better angle to see the shoulder. Seamus has tucked his elbow underneath. Strong fist in the air. 2 feet on top of each other. And again, we're going to hold for 20 seconds here. Okay, we're going to go back into our tempo squat then. So that's 1 round done. This is where the legs start getting tired now. Okay, so back into our tempo squat. Seamus is pulling the weight into his chest. He's going to sit right back onto his heels, hold at the bottom for 2, 1, squeeze at the top. So 3 seconds on the way down, hold at the bottom for 2 seconds, up tall and squeeze. We're going to go for 10 reps here. If you do find you get knee pain, you have to be really strict sitting back onto your heels, not letting your knees go over your toes. We do have some weights here available in the gym as well. If you do want to pop in before the lockdown, you can grab one for at home. Okay, we're going back into our push-up position then. So exactly like the first round, if you can do full push-ups, go for a full push-up and then a shoulder touch on each side. If you can't do a full push-up, you can go for your shoulder blade push-up. We're going to go for 8 reps here again. Big focus on not letting your hips move again. Loads of core control, squeezing your glutes. And James has just shown the variation here. The shoulder blade push-up, touch and touch. We're going to grab our weight again, going into our reverse lunge. And again, big step back, leaning forward with your chest, not letting that front knee go over your toes. There's a good angle here. You can see Seamus locking out his left leg and squeezing his left glute at the top. And you may even feel a stretch in your back leg in this position here. Stuff. We're going to go back into our plank series then, starting off with our front plank. Down on 2 elbows, tuck and squeeze the hips, that's it. Squeezing the glutes, upper back is rounded off. We'll hold for 20 seconds here. Again, making sure the legs are locked out, upper back is rounded off. Good, we're going to side plank next. Just to go through the cues here, tuck the elbow underneath, 2 feet on top, strong fist in the air, and hips are pushed forward and you're squeezing your bum. 20 seconds here as well. And we'll finish off on the left side. If you do find the side planks tough on your shoulder, we might get Seamus to show us a variation just with the bottom knee down. Exactly, and we can go top hand in the air. Just a little variation here if you find the full side plank tough. Seamus finds this one tough as well. Perfect. We'll go back into our squat then. Oh yeah, we'll give you a second to grab a drink. Seamus is parched here. Coffee wouldn't be my drink of choice now. But so just always remember with this strength exercises, we do want you to go nice and slow. It's more about technique and holding the positions rather than flying through. We will have conditioning coming up, so the tempo, we'll lift the tempo now in a little bit. Again, nice side angle here. Seamus is sliding back onto his glutes, squeezing his bum at the top, and he's maintaining that tempo. 3 seconds on the way down and a 2-second hold at the bottom. And again, we're going to go for 10 reps. Going back into your push-up position then. Again, by the third round, the arms will be getting tired, be getting tough. So always make sure you're in control of your core, squeezing your glutes. With the shoulder blade push-ups, you want to keep your arms locked out here. And again, don't let the hips swing. Going into our reverse lunges again. You can just about see the toes, yeah. You'd be surprised how difficult it is to record a 6'6" man in a Georgian building. That's it. And we'll try and maintain a slow tempo with these reverse lunges as well. Legs will be burning towards the end. Good, just leaning forward now. Stuff. And we're going to finish off with our plank series, starting off front plank. Tuck and squeeze the hips, round off the upper back. And exaggerate the breathing, so in through the nose, fill the lungs, and then strong exhale through pursed lips. And we'll go side plank. In this position, Seamus is going to push his hips towards me, squeeze his glutes. Might even get him to lift his hips up an inch higher. We'll see the pain in his face now. And he's just relaxing his head back there. We're going to go into our last plank then on our right elbow. Same here, you can see Seamus has a nice angle on his right elbow. From his elbow up to his shoulder, 2 feet on top. His hips are pushed towards our lovely white wall there, handmade. And we can relax there. Well done. We're going to start our conditioning part now. So if you could grab 2 light weights, maybe 2 bottles of water would be good for this, or if you have your med ball from the warm-up. We're going to start off with 30 seconds of high knees. Shane's going to show us. So pumping opposite arm, opposite leg. We're going to go for 30 seconds here. Conditioning is going to be 4 exercises. We're going to do 30 seconds of each and then do a stretch in between each round. We're going for 3 rounds. We'll aim to go 10 more seconds. 4, 3, 2. Into sit-ups then for 30 seconds. I'm just going to tilt the camera down a touch. Reaching over your knees. Make sure you keep your heels on the floor. To make it a bit tougher, you just slide your heels into your bum. That's it. 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds. 2. And 1. Into a push-up position then. We're going for mountain climbers. On the toes, nice and quick. We're going knee to chest as fast as you can, fast as you can. James, good. 15 to go. Nearly there, keep going, keep going. 4, 3, 2, and 1. The last one is going to be thrusters. So this is where your weights come into play. It's going to be a half squat with a drive overhead. We're going to go for 30 seconds here. Half squat, good. Just make sure we're sitting right back overhead. Good. 5 seconds. Good stuff. And then in between each round, we're going to go for a stretch. So if you have a cushion at home, you can pop down into a quad or hip flexor stretch here. If your right knee is down on the floor, you're going to squeeze your right glute, and then you can even reach your hand up overhead just to exaggerate the stretch. And we'll just swap sides. So we're just using this to catch our breath and get a little stretch at the same time. Good stuff. Okay, we'll slide them out of the way. We're going to go back into high knees, 30 seconds. One time's good, keep going. Less than 20 to go. Good, 8 seconds left. 3, 2, and 1. Going into sit-ups again. Heels in the floor, reaching over your knees. So 15 seconds left. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Into mountain climbers, nice and quick. Push a position. Off you go. That's it. So on your toes, nice and quick, fast as you can. 10 seconds left here. Nice and quick, nice and quick, nice and quick. Always try to lift it for the last 10 seconds if you can. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go back into our thrusters then. So 2 light weights. Get a front view this time. Up overhead. So it's a half squat. Drive the weights overhead. Push your hips forward and squeeze your bum. So squeeze, squeeze. That's it, exactly. Nearly there. Three, 2, and 1. Good. We'll go back into our stretch then. Again, using the cushion at home. So if you can, tuck and squeeze your right hip there. Seamus is squeezing his right glute and he reaches overhead. So we're going to do one more round here. Again, 30 seconds of high knees, off we go. Seamus was built for power, not for speed, so this is the tough L circuit for him. 20 seconds, Seamus, keep going. Good, and you want to drive your knees right up, nice and high. Pump your arms as well. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Into sit-ups. That's it, you're halfway there. Keeping the heels in the floor. Oh, it's getting tough now. 8 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. We're going into mountain climbers again. Push up position. So on the toes here, nice and quick. Off we go. Good, 20 seconds. Good, last 10. We'll just try to lift it again for the last 10. Keep the feet moving nice and quick. You have 5 seconds left. And relax, good. Last one then, just into our thrusters. One more time. See how many reps you can get. That's it. Sitting back, half squat, up overhead. Good, keep going, Seamus, keep going. Good. 5 seconds, keep going. Slow on, 3, 2, get one more. Well done.